Lizard Head. And wow, this is a very interesting structure that you have here at Lizard Head.
This is the scratch-built snow shed.
Yeah.
It was built on location in order to be able to match the curves and the bumps in the track and make sure things hopefully cleared. It took quite a bit of time to build it.
Yes, I would say board-on-board construction and framed.
Yep.
And
the basic framing, I built 2 jigs, one for single track, one for double track, and built the jigs up, and as they cured enough I'd pull them out, start another one, and then go position them up on the layout and start building the trestle.
so this location on the line at Lizard Head is right where that branch goes off and up to Telluride,
No,
correct?
the branch from Telluride in real life goes from Vance Junction.
Oh, okay.
But I do pull it off right here. That was the only way I could work it without screwing up a lot of other interesting scenery.
Modeler's license.
Yeah, modeler's license or whatever. But it comes off, and it actually goes under an underhang, with an overhang, which is part of the Ophir scene on the other side.
Oh, okay.
So it disappears in, runs behind the back of the Y at Lizard Head, which is totally inaccessible, and I hope I never have a problem there.
And in here we have also some storage of your cattle cars.
I store my excess stock cars here between the DNRG and the RGS. I have 41 of them on the layout.
Yeah, so you run that as a stock extra at times?
We play all kinds of games with them.
They get in the way because I guess they have priority.
Yeah, a loaded stock train has right of way over all other trains.
Now we've basically followed around your whole model railroad up to the second level. You've been going up grade, and you're coming through the wall, and of course at the lower level here you see Ridgeway where we started. What's this location here?
This is Trout Lake.
Yeah.
This was the first victim of C4. I really did like what I'd built there 25 years ago, and nobody else really liked it either, so out comes the C4.
Yeah.
And it's all been rebuilt and upgraded. I used a lot of styrofoam for the construction.
Yes.
And I used drywall compound and drywall tape to cover up the lines, and that. It worked quite well. The nice thing about the styrofoam, if you have to plant a tree, you just punch a hole and plant a tree. You don't have to muck around with drilling through plaster or anything like that.
So the mountain ranges that are painted on the background are pretty close to what you would find in Trout Lake?
Yeah, this Chris Lyon fellow there, I beat him into a pulp and got him to actually draw mountains and not flat desert scenes. I think we both learned a lot from doing this scene. Yeah,
I think it's great. It really looks great. I think the distance between the wall and the front of the layout here is what, maybe 2 feet at most?
18 inches.
18 inches.
18 inches, that's it.
Yeah. And what do you think of this way of doing your fascia with the paint color?
Well, that's something I've been kicking around for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just try and blend the fascia into the layout.
Yeah.
By using a tree technique or whatever you want. I have seen it on a couple of layouts, and it seems to work well. So we'll be working on a few more.
So we're at the approaching the spot, I guess, where all of the helpers are detached. This is a convenient location, fairly easily accessed.
Yeah, we usually do it here. Telluride Lizard Head itself is a problem because the snow shed makes it harder for some of the older members to work with.
Yeah.
So we do it here, and it just works much easier.
So on your model railroad here too, I guess the trains continue along to where are we going next?
Well, what happens, we duck under the bridge, which is the bridge leading between Telluride and Pandora.
Right.
And we go down the other side of the wall, which is the Ophir scene. Okay. What I did in order to accommodate all this, I put a wall up in the center of this area. So this is actually a 2x4 wall,
right,
with sheetrock on it, which actually supports a good chunk of the layout.
Huh. Now we're in this huge mountain scene.
This is going to be the new butterfly. It's eagerly awaiting the application of C4.
Right.
I got a bunch of ideas for this. I just haven't finalized what I'm doing, but I'm going to add a couple more tracks and a lot more switching here, and make a few changes to the bridges. This one bridge here, I have not liked it from the day I put it in.
Yeah.
It looks phony as the day is long.
Right.
And this bridge here, 46D, is actually about 90 feet too short, so I'll make it 90 feet longer and make it look a lot better than it is, and that'll allow me to change all the scenery here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a good order for C4 coming in.
That's good. A nice little scenic block here, and then you're on to some more trestles, and there's a string of them.
Yeah, I've got 46 A, B, C, and D. I tried
Right.
to do E and F, but they didn't fit, so they just don't exist.
Huh.
And this is basically just how you get from one level to the other.
Yeah, so we're coming down grade here.
Yeah. It's actually 125 feet of track from where you first came on the scene until you go off the scene again.
Now we got this big bowl here. It looks like a reversing loop comes back on itself, a bit of a dog bone.
This is Ophir Loop.
Yeah.
Famous all over the world.
And you modeled it pretty much all the buildings and everything to what's there?
Everything that I could squeeze in. There is one other project I've got on the back burner. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to require some warped imagination, I think, to get it done.
And the scenery just goes right to the ceiling here.
Scenery right to the ceiling.
Fantastic.
And it's all supported on the layout itself. It's not supported to the ceiling at all. There was quite a row with some of the guys when I was building. Oh no, you got to nail it to the ceiling, and I said, you don't have to. It's styrofoam basically, and once it's all glued together and finished, it's very, very strong.
Cool.
I was working here one day on Canada Day a couple of years, 15 years ago, and I had a piece of styrofoam on the track so I wouldn't bash my knees in. I had the air conditioning turned up in the house so they're really bloody cool, and I'm planting those trees. Punch a hole, plant a tree. Mm-hmm. Boy, was I sweating. That was a long
So we had been coming down grade from the upper level. Now we're moving along as continuing down grade, I guess, to the lower level of Butterfly. So this is where the mine complex the loads will be put in right down here at the bottom then, eh?
Yeah, what I'm looking at is we'll load the ore cars here. I'm going to bring a track down here for loading slag. Don't know what we're doing with it. And I'm going to put an office and oil tank here because the boiler house here is going to be run by oil, which
Right.
is not true. It was actually hydropower. I need a place to stash some oil cars.
Sure.
So I'm going to put an oil siding in here and a boiler house. And I plan on, there'll be an office complex here, and there'll be some small houses for miners and miners' families, and of course there'll be the big bunkhouse here, and they're going to string a suspension bridge across here so the guys can go to work.
Wow. You sure have to have a lot of energy and motivation to work 30 years and still have so many interesting projects to do.
Yeah, I wonder if I'll ever get them finished.
I don't know, but I don't know if any of us ever get that far. Into Rico, I take it, and we have a few more mines here.
Yeah, this mine here, again, it's strictly a figment of my imagination.
Right.
I named it after Alexander Zelkin. Used to be an Sn3er in Montreal. He lives in France now.
Huh.
But he has a canyon on his layout called Scobie Canyon, so I have a mine on my layout called Zelkin.
There you go.
Tit for tat, I guess.
Yeah.
It's keeps it busy.
What a monster kit this is.
That's the Banta kit for Pulpatria. It's the largest laser cut kit I've ever built. It surprisingly went together very well. Now, with a little bit of an engineering feat to get it fitted,
Yeah.
what I had to do was I had to cut out the wall,
Uh-huh.
2x4s, everything.
Yes.
And I pushed the scenery as far back as I could to the scenes on the other side of Ophir Loop. In fact, this section here is right up against the scenery that's between two trestles.
Gotcha.
And the mine just fits in, because if you look here, the roof is just under
Yeah, I can see that.
It just fits.
I like the coloring that you've used.
Yes, that boiled red rock.
Yeah.
And a bunch of debris. All of this stuff here is what I've seen in photographs.
Yeah.
These two buildings were not supplied in the kit, but they're there, so I scratch built those.
Uh-huh.
This is the Telluride coal company. The river keeps moving it around now and again. Or was it operator's elbows? It could be either. The Conoco oil plant, again I put this in. It actually wasn't in existence at this time, but I needed a place to stuff Conoco oil cars.
Yeah.
I only have about 9 of them on the layout. And this is Rico yard. It's pretty much laid out the way it was in real life. I have a few more engines here than I need.
Right.
Yeah, it's falling apart.
Well, people are touching the top where they probably shouldn't, and knocking the bits
Very
off.
bad for putting switch list on top of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And I'm guilty.
There you go.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of maintenance away equipment here, spare engines. My business car is here, right beside the sand house.
Another large station.
That was built by Grant Knowles many, many years ago. This is the Rocky Mountain Railroad kit. And pretty much everything else is either a Banta kit or scratch built.
And basically from here on in you have a Y.
I have the Y and then the coal chute and then the lead off to the staging yard going to the
After we had left Lizard Head, we came through the wall and into Telluride. This is a branch off of your main.
This is the branch to Telluride. It's 10 miles long. It leads to the mines at Pandora,
Right.
which is a major source of revenue for the RGS. Plus there's other industries around Telluride itself. There's grocery stores and you know, mining shops, supply houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Plus there's still passenger service. We still generate a passenger train here.
And the train has to be wide here to go back out.
Everything has to be wide. So the passenger train starts here, runs to Ridgeway, brings the banking executives and mine executives down to Ridgeway to do business, brings them back late in the afternoon.
So in the traffic that comes up this way, independent of the passenger trains, you're moving quite a bit of rolling stock?
Yeah, what we're doing is we're bringing gas and oil up for the conical plant, plus we bring up mining supplies, supplies needed by any town, bakery goods, flour, whatever shipped in boxcars, also refrigerators. So
the Telluride branch has a couple of large industrial components to it here.
Well, these are the big mines at Pandora.
Okay.
I really had no idea what I wanted to do here when I laid this out. So I just let Bill Meredith go off the deep end, and he started roughly here.
Yeah.
And let his imagination go based on the real buildings and that. And this is what we came up with.
Well, that's quite terrific. You've got a bit of a... So is Pandora a different town than Telluride?
We just added some buildings just to make it look a little more interesting. That's bending the rules again. But we don't worry about that.
That's good. And this occupies folks quite a bit.
It keeps the switcher guy pretty busy. He's got to make up 2 trains from 3 different mines. And of course one train goes to Ridgeway and the other goes to Rico.
A lot of rolling stock through here.
Yeah, we deliberately keep it busy. Unfortunately, it's getting a little busy. I have a block of RGS boxcars up here that's not moving. And that's a computer issue.
Okay. What sort of operating system do you use here?
We use RailOp.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
But it works for us. It's not overly complicated, and Doug Matheson and I, well, if he doesn't screw it up, I'll screw it up, or we'll do it in stereo and have a heck of a good time.
So RailOp is a computer-based car forwarding system, basically.
Right. Yeah.
And so on your whole railroad here, how many cars does that move in a session?
Well, I have 318 active freight cars. We're moving about 250 in an op session now.
Wow. So how many operators?
Too many. I have the same problem that Tommy Hood has. When we first started, we figured we're never going to have enough people to operate these layouts. Well, I can get up to 16 in an op session, which is more than I need. And Tommy's running about 25 and 26, so both basements get pretty crowded.
Yep. Well, hopefully it's not going to be too crowded today.
No. Somebody said there was no beer in the fridge.
There you go. I guess they're staying home.
Yep.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
And thanks very much for having me by today to have a look at your layout design and some of the features of it. I really enjoyed that.
Don't forget, I only charge $5 a photograph.
Oh my gosh, it's a good thing it's a video and a continuous picture then, eh?
Yeah, I got to pay for it somehow, so I charge $5 a photograph.